Hello and welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. I'm Dana Cowley and my guest today is Ruth Miles. She's the Small Business Advocate for the Secretary of State in Oregon.
Yes,
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. What a pleasure. What a pleasure.
You were mentioning that this is a relatively new office and you're really trying to get the word out about who you are and what you do.
Very much so. So we've only been in business for 2.5 years. So the legislature created us in their 2013 session. We opened up for the public in January 2014, and we have been helping businesses and nonprofits ever since then.
What kind of a staff size do you have and what kind of resources do you have access to?
Well, we have vast statutory resources, but there's really only 2 of us right now. A third will join us later on this year. But we punch way above our weight. We're able to do quite a bit of work, and we're statewide. So we work with businesses and nonprofits with less than 100 employees that have a question, a concern, a grievance, a complaint about state or local government. And that includes special districts, schools, cities, counties, you name it. If it's publicly funded and under the state level, we can do it. And certainly state executive branch agencies. And the 2 of us, just the 2 of us, with a broad statutory power of being able to work with anyone in the state to help us solve a case or to help answer a question, are able to get to those answers and solutions pretty quickly. Our work is very, very collaborative. So we don't approach this as a gotcha. We very much want to have ongoing, productive relationships with the state agencies and the units of local government that we work with, because we're going to be a repeat visitor. This is kind of a way for the state to have a sort of quality assurance program. It's like the chair you're sitting on. Somebody inspected that to make sure that it met the quality standards of that manufacturer, that it wasn't going to collapse.
You hope so.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And we want government to do the same thing, but we haven't really had any mechanism for that other than our typical 3 branches of government that depend on, judiciary, the legislature, and so forth, and the executive branch. But in our case, we're looking at those very specific problems that businesses have or that nonprofits report to us, and we can react very quickly, where a legislator might be able to help with a solution, but it might take some time to get actual legislation passed. So we have that
for
possibility.
A small business, that could crush them.
That's right. Time is money.
Yes.
And money is money in business. So absolutely, you want to be very careful with both. So for us, we're able to move very quickly because we have a small staff. We communicate about every single case. And we've built this very rich referral network that helps us respond quickly to especially repeated concerns. So, we've had a ton of cases from marijuana growers or marijuana producers or people who are interested in getting licensed in this new emerging industry.
Right.
So we've had to develop a very quick specialty in that, and we have been able to help funnel those folks along to the people they need to talk to at the OLCC, among other things.
And can you give us some other examples?
Sure, absolutely. But I will say this first. All of the people that contact us, our conversations with them are confidential. It's a safe space.
That's good to know.
And so businesses can report to us any number of things, and we'll tell them what the law says about those things if we feel that there's some wrongdoing, but we're not going to report it unless there's some really hugely criminal activity going on. And we certainly don't report at the end of a case unless there are special circumstances, and we always let the business owner know ahead of time. They're in the driver's seat all the time. So with that said, though, I will say we get a lot of licensing cases. That's about 40% of our caseload right now. And it's everything from background checks to licenses to certifications, registrations. In fact, there's a whole database with tens of thousands of licenses. There's actually a license for an egg breaker, of all things.
Really?
So, that database is open to the public, and in fact, it's an award-winning database, but even with this fabulous database that we have, there's still a lot of questions about what does the statutory language mean and where do I fit into that? And there's a huge spectrum of sophistication on the part of business owners and folks that are wanting to start a nonprofit or grow one. And we meet folks where they're at. We're providing them with a tailored solution. And that seems to be the special sauce that we bring to the party, is that we're able to meet folks right where they're at and have a conversation that fits them at that time, and it's a solution only for them, but then we can take the elements of that, repeat it for other businesses as well.
Well, that sounds like it would give them a great feeling and a great help for somebody who's struggling.
That's the idea. That's the idea. There's a lot of comfort in that.
This
Yeah.
is Ruth Miles. I'm Dana Cowley, and you're watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.
Thank you.